on your second screen, you'd open up Discord on
Okay.
pretty much where the videos are.
Let's see if
And
this
you just make a
works.
little box outline my video cam pretty much.
Okay.
can-
Chat is working on this one.
Okay, well, it's yet to go live on your page.
Yeah. So I'm good now. Chat is here. I just don't know where my chat is this time.
Oh, there it is. There's your live.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
I see your chat, so I'll have your chat open as well, just in case.
Yeah, I also have it open now. It's just not open through OBS, which is really weird. Anyways, welcome back, beautiful people, to part 2 of the Blue Protocol podcast. No errors, no nothing happened. I don't know what anyone's talking about.
If that's the case, this is just the Blue Protocol podcast. There's no part 2. It's just the Blue Protocol.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say part 2.
Dang right.
Okay. Now I am here
with an ugly person. I don't know why you're friends with this person.
Okay, now I'm re-advertising my link, and I feel bad because I'm like double posting. But
yeah,
whatever.
I feel that. I'll also advertise your link in some Discords that I know about, and see if any of them would like to come and join.
So, as a heads up, we are still waiting on one of our members to chat about this whole stream and everything that we're going to talk about today, which is very odd because normally he's the punctual one, so it's odd for us to be on time and him to be late.
Yes, it very much is weird.
He is okay though. We've contacted him. He's coming, but
I think he had family situation that popped up, so nothing, no hard feelings, nothing like that. Just a little humorous, I think, toward
I'm gonna have a vacuuming stream at this point. Like.
Also, I don't think I've ever asked what do I call you?
I
know you have a few names. Which name do I use?
So you can call me Finn or Finessu. Most people call me Finn because it's easier. Some people call me Ace, but
you still use Ace?
Some people call me Ace, and I'm okay with it because I went by it for so long.
I'll stick with Finn since that's your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I prefer Finn or Finessu, but
just I guess call me Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Yeah, it's instead of saying the QC Cowboy 15, Cowboy's just a lot easier.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely fair. God, I'm gonna have to. if we ever animate characters, you're gonna have to have a cowboy hat.
Bro, I want one so bad. That's legit. It's gonna be hilarious because it's gonna be what it's gonna be if I animate a character. It's literally gonna be a cowboy in the desert with the cowboy hat, boots, and everything, wearing a hoodie. Because that's literally me.
Fucking McCree #2, basically.
Hey.
Sorry, Cassidy.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I don't care about the name.
I am offended because like we had an attachment to the name McCree.
Okay, so you know where they get the name Cassie from, right?
Someone explained it to me before, but I have not.
Butch Cassidy, one of the outlaws.
Oh, that makes sense.
But the thing is, why couldn't they just call him Butch? Like, Butch sounds like a better outlaw's name.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's like calling your son Sue and expecting him not to get into fist fights every time they called him by his name. That's my logic. Like, what the heck, guys? But anyways, that's the wrong game. We're not here to talk about
yeah.
that's a whole different rabbit hole we could talk about a different time.
Man, I can't believe he's this late. He's almost always on time. He's probably setting up because he's online on his computer now. So
I mean, he's probably just getting everything good because he's also gonna be, I think, streaming it as well.
yes.
Hey, there we go. There is the slash.
Yes. Ah, he joined, but I didn't get Discord audio for it. Weird.
It's because you're in the streamer mode.
Oh, really? Is that why?
Streamer modes will disable. Discord has a streamer mode where it disable notifications for the most part.
Huh. Weird.
Unless I think unless it's an actual app ping.
Interesting. Weird. He's
Hello,
figuring.
Slash.
He's figuring out his mic headset situation. Well, all three of us are here perfectly on time. This works out great. We got the bloopers out of the way first though, so it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it was. I just have your stream open with the Discord next to it.
Yeah, my setup right now is kind of interesting.
I mean, I'm on my laptop, so it's like.
Oh
I only have so much room.
Oh no! I didn't even think about that.
So it's a single screen with so much room. It sucks.
I'm gonna have to turn him up. Oh, I'm definitely gonna turn him up.
I didn't even hear him talk.
He didn't, but
Okay, I was like.
in preparation, cause I have us kind of loud. The main thing for me is I had to balance out our audios, so which
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it sounds like on consumer side, but from the lines and all the graphs and charts that I see, those are balanced. So
I mean, I can deafen myself and just go listen. I have you muted.
I mean, you could, I guess.
Because I don't want to hear the double talk, but.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, there he goes. He's back. He's figuring it out.
It definitely sounds decent. I'll say that.
Okay, that's.
I can hear myself. Sadly, I can hear myself talking back.
Listen, Ethan, my boy.
Ethan.
My boy.
Hey, I'm not Roy, the boy. Okay, leave me alone.
Oh, I miss Roy the boy. I want to play Melee now.
Hey guys,
There he
Welcome.
is.
Welcome.
sorry I'm late. Had to go do something real quick.
No worries, man.
You're perfectly
Yeah.
fine. Hey, you're on time as ever. I mean, honestly, if I was in your shoes, I would have been an hour late. So you're good.
Yeah,
I think me and Finn would both have been an hour late.
yeah. So how are we? So is Mark streaming?
Yes,
He's
I am
streaming?
live now. Abraham. True. So okay, I have so the video that I sent you in the Blue Protocol Discord, I'm going off the timestamps on that as a kind of overview to go by for our
He
for
can't
covering
do
Stream
that.
6. For covering Stream 6. Yeah, I know. He's making a joke. So yeah, are you guys ready to actually start? Because I am. I'm ready to
Yeah.
talk about this. You ready?
I got my Dr. Pepper, so I got my AKA Go Juice, good to go.
Awesome. So to go ahead and get one of the elephants in the room out of the way, It is not a black screen right now. Shut up. My stream is definitely not a black screen right now.
No, it's not. He's just trolling you, I think. Unless he needs to refresh it.
Yeah.
Please,
I would refresh and see if it's still a black screen. My live feed for myself is fine.
I'm seeing it. I'm hearing the background just fine.
Are you using what are you using? Twitch or YouTube?
I'm using
He's on
YouTube,
YouTube.
Okay.
and I'm streaming through OBS. Yeah, I just refreshed. It should be fine again. Okay, he said he's good. I mean, worst case scenario, it is a podcast, and you would be excluded from seeing my dirty room. So, if it's a black screen, that may be a good thing for you.
That's right. Your room is messy.
Listen, I have a puppy.
Hey.
I'm
That
busy.
just means more responsibilities that you should be accepting.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that, but I don't regret a
It's
single
like
thing I've done.
having a kid.
I know. It's practice.
It is. It's a practice.
So, okay, to start on the Blue Protocol,
We're starting with the.
one of the elephants in the room, console release, and who is
Yeah.
publishing the game globally. So, I will say something that we learned this last dev stream. Console release is confirmed with each region. So, PS5,
and it's supposedly
PS4.
crossplay.
Yeah, no on the crossplay. No on the
No?
crossplay. They said that they want to do crossplay,
Okay, that's what it was.
but they can't confirm anything right now. So I was a little bit sad to see that, but it makes sense. And there's also no physical copies of the game. It's all digital. But
I mean, that one's a no-brainer because that's literally what all games have turned into.
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah, they're heading that way. And it. I hate
an
it,
old
but
gamer, I hate it.
yeah, I know. Like, I would pay $100 to get like the ultimate edition, like a fancy big box like this size. I would love to do that. I would love to get that for Blue
Yeah.
Protocol, but yeah. So they're console releasing alongside PC as well. It'll be Steam, PS5, and Xbox. No Switch release, I don't believe.
Genshin Impact still doesn't have their Switch release yet.
And then the publisher. The publisher is very interesting.
Oh boy.
If you follow anime MMOs at all, you can guess the publisher for NA.
Mhm.
Do you got it? Are you gonna guess?
Bandai Namco.
Okay, so the main publishers are Bandai Namco.
I don't know the publishers for the NA side. Of
Okay,
things.
so for North America, Europe, and a couple other countries, Amazon Games is publishing Blue Protocol.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So
Amazon. Of course they're gonna be the ones like we'll sell it. Yes. Let us take this and distribute for you.
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of okay with it.
I'm okay with it due to the fact that they have the ability to add on servers if needed.
So they do have that, but which we'll get on servers a little bit later because there's some interesting stuff the way Blue Protocol is handling their servers, at least from what I've read up on. But one of the things that I was worried about with this game were pay to win, and there's one thing in the last dev stream that kind of got released that is a little bit iffy, and I mean we kind of just need to see how impactful it'll be whenever beta comes or we get more info on it. But they have said that they're trying to not be pay to win at all, and that came
I
from the
heard
developers.
it's just gonna be cosmetics. What I heard.
Yeah, that was what they were trying for at first, and that I think was as of DevStream 5 or 4.
Now, I think what they could do with that, because they need to monetize something, otherwise there's gonna be no way for them to make money as a company.
Exactly.
Now, with the cosmetics, I understand it, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people also do pay to wins, because people are willing to pay that extra
Mhm.
to get everything first. But I think another thing they might or could look into, I don't know how popular this theory is, but possibly like opening up when they open up new sections of whatever's like new updates and new areas. Say you could pay a fee to be like you could pay a fee to make sure your name's on that spot to like beta test it.
Hmm.
That could be a way for them to monetize.
Yeah.
Do you think they're just gonna make like closed betas instead? I mean, there's no way they'll make it public.
I mean, I could
if they
see
do
that.
If they did the monetization of a beta, it would definitely be a closed beta, along with the if so like say they needed 10,000 people, just a big freaking number, right? For the most part, say 1,000 of those people pay to make sure they're on that spot. Now they have to randomly pick 9,000 more players. But if you wanted to make sure you had a spot, you could pay like, hey, I want to be in there. I want the code. I'll be willing to pay this X amount of dollars for it or X amount of cash.
So I could see that, but I feel like the problem with that lies in the fact that for their betas, they want the more experienced players, the people who have play tested their game or played their game the most. They want those players to test the betas and give them the actual feedback that would be more impactful to them versus someone who's put in like 10 hours into the game just to see what it is kind of thing.
Okay.
That I think would be the only problem.
I mean, but
Yeah,
that's
but
also...
they could also like do sponsors. They could have sponsors. I mean, when Genshin first came out, they asked Maximilian Dude to sponsor them. Like, I mean, they sponsored Maximilian. They were like, "Here, just play our game on stream for us." That's it. He never went back.
Yeah, no, 100% they're gonna do that. Like, I could not see, I could not see them reasonably not doing that.
I think
they're gonna probably look for like people with millions of subscribers and say, "Hey, we're gonna pay you X amount, just play our game on stream."
Yeah, if they don't.
New World did the same thing for the most. I'm not like, I don't think they paid them, but I think they were willingly working with high viewed streamers to stream their game.
I mean, I believe it, but also on that note, like people were hyped for New World like many months beforehand.
I mean, that's also due fact of.
I mean, Amazon Games, it was their first actual game, so it's kind of a big deal.
Their baby.
Yeah.
And I will say they did produce a good game.
Which on that note, to I guess kind of tie back into things, with Amazon Games being the publisher, they handled pay-to-win factors very well for both New World and Lost Ark. Those games, for the most part, are like not pay-to-win almost at all.
It's mainly paid for cosmetics.
Yeah, it's paid for cosmetics, and those are both basically Amazon Games' baby for the most part. And New World was actually handled really well, except around the 2-month mark. I think the 2-month mark is where it started to go downhill, and then they made some updates, and those updates didn't really follow through well.
It was the updates. It was the patch notes around the 2-month mark, but it was also the fact that players who were sticking around were on the most populated worlds, and so it was them trying to figure out how to change people over from servers that were dying because people weren't logging in anymore to be more pretty much merging servers together, so it wasn't always just low pop servers all the time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people played it a lot, but then some of them died out from playing it. Some people had to go back to their normal lives. Because I know people that took time off just to play the game for like a week to 2 weeks straight.
Yep, that's gonna be me with this game. I already have 2 weeks of vacation saved up.
But the thing is, like with that, once that time frame falls out, you only can go on so much at a time a week. So as that progresses, it's going to be them trying to figure out, okay, how do we keep these populations going? Because a lot of people are leaving due effect of these are reasonings. Some people are leaving because the populations are dying off, and so it's just multiple reasonings. And I think they handle it very very well, especially with their when you want to swap a world, you can swap up to two different worlds for free with on the same character. That way you don't have to make a whole new character each world.
So I will say on this note, I guess it's fine for us to go ahead and jump into how they're handling the servers and the like channels and stuff.
I think so.
So and this is coming from the devs in Japan. So with all the different publishers, these will actually be considered separate games. So the Blue Protocol in Japan versus the Blue Protocol in North America will actually be separate games. If you have a friend that's in Japan versus you living in North America, you guys won't be able to play together unless you play on the same version of the game, which in that case, one of y'all will then have very high ping. So kind of an interesting factor. But on that note, how they're handling the servers and having like super high populations and stuff, supposedly, and I'm a little worried about this, but supposedly you're all on the same server. However, once a world or zone gets too many people in it, the excess people then get moved to a different channel, but are on the same server. So you won't see those people. You won't be able to live talk to them like publicly through the zone because they'll be on the next channel over. So it'll be like channel 1, 50 players. So it'll be 50 out of 50, and then channel 2 will start. So that's how they have explained that so far. And I'm a little bit worried because that's a lot of people on one server.
So with that, it's from and this is me just based off like pure memory of older games and how older servers were set up. If so many people were on, and they would have like almost like a sub server inside the main server, which is what this is sounding like. So it's like a radius inside that sub server would grant you to talk to those many people within that sub server. But if you move sub servers, then you got a new group of people you can talk with.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of how they're handling it.
Which isn't. It definitely does save on server like
resources.
On this, server, yes, because it pretty much. And I know you're gonna. I know this is gonna be very cheesy, and you 100% probably would expect me to relate to this, but think of the anime Log Horizon. They had the Japanese server, the US server, and all different regions. So people could go to those regions, but you won't know that any of your friends are online if they're in a different region. You have to go to that sub-region to see if they're online.
Interesting.
So I think it's going to definitely be a good system. I'm just curious on how many people are going to be allowed on this, and if there's going to be like an actual global chat versus a local chat. Because if there's going to be a local chat, that's going to be for your, like you're saying, the 50 out of 50 people versus your global chat, which is legitimately everyone on that main server.
God, that'd be crazy. Real quick, Wildcard Crimson in my chat just said, explain what Blue Protocol is for the uninitiated. So I guess we did actually kind of skip that in the beginning, so we can touch on that real quick.
Yes, we 100% did.
Kind of getting into the nitty gritty. To be fair, our blooper stream, we talked about it a little bit, but we'll go ahead and do it again. So Blue Protocol, as per the devs' words, are an anime action RPG. Anime ARPG, anime action RPG,
Yeah. Are
role
you
playing
having
game.
issues?
Yes. I had to remember how many letters there were. So for the most part, it is an anime MMO, which it will be massively multiplayer online. But however, with the way that they're handling their servers and how players are able to interact with everyone, it'll feel less like an MMO. It'll still feel like an MMO, but less so, and more so like an ARPG.
Think I feel like a game that you could roughly compare to would be Final Fantasy Online. I feel like would be a safe game close to it, but just to get an idea of what it might be about, or similar to Genshin Impact.
Yeah, so if you mix Final Fantasy XIV and Genshin Impact, you would pretty much get Blue Protocol, maybe even mix in a little bit of New World, or Breath of the Wild. Now, I will say it is an open world game, but it's kind of like Sonic Frontiers. If you've played that, it's actually open zone instead of open world.
Which is definitely going to be how they create the sub servers inside the main server a lot easier.
Yeah, and it'll put a lot less stress on both server load, console load, PC load. So it'll be open world, but it'll be in like 5+ different pieces. So if you're in one city, that whole entire city will be loaded. And then once you leave the city, you might load the rest of that part of the world, and that city will unload.
I don't know if you guys know a game called Foxhole, but it'd be something similar to that, where you have to like enter a new zone, and then you have a whole new area you can go explore.
Yeah, so it's an open world anime RPG, anime MMO. There will be dungeons, bosses. There's lots of gameplay out online now. But if you've played Genshin Impact at all, it looks a bit like that mixed with a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV. And I think that's all that I have so far, really, to like explain this, I guess, in a simple man's terms, the game. So
Yeah.
I mean, I can
As
only
someone who
really
plays Genshin.
yeah.
I can only really compare it to other things. I don't know a good way to describe it based off what I know about it, other than just like comparing it to other things and like meshing everything together.
Like, how open world is it? Is everything unlocked already?
So no, you'll start out where you, I guess, spawn, or create
Which
your character.
don't
I
know
like
if-
it.
I don't remember if they talked about that. I don't remember hearing it. But did they talk about how the spawning system's gonna work and everything?
Not that I know of, but I imagine it's similar to
'Cause-
the betas.
Because I'm just thinking, like my brain when I think Blue Protocol with the spawning system and stuff, my brain instantly, I don't know why, but instantly goes Sword Art Online, season 1 arc 2, and he goes into Alfheim, and he picks the Spriggan character, and he like supposed to send him to the certain region, but then like screws up. Like that's what my brain is thinking of how they're gonna do it somewhere or not. You're gonna possibly get a choice between picking parts of your character and then possibly going along with your spawning process of following that character's like home region or whatever, or you get the other option of like a random spawn and you get somewhere randomly in the world that you have to go from there with a bunch of other people in the same areas.
See, yeah, and I think that was how they handled New World, was like you selected roughly the area that you would spawn in.
There was three zones you could start in based off 3 factions you choose.
Mm-hmm.
I know in like Lost Ark, Genshin, and what is that new one?
Tower of Fantasy.
Tower of Fantasy. It follows a story, so
Yeah.
they'll start you off, and then afterwards, like you'll start off at the generic town at the beginning, following the story, and then from there you just go wherever.
Okay. And
Assuming there are no boundaries.
Card Crimson did bring up a good point. Why are we excited about this one versus all the other ones that we're comparing this one to?
So
And if it is a series, I don't believe it is a series. If it is, this is gonna be the first one of the series.
yeah.
But I think the main reason why we, at least myself and Finn, are so excited about this one is due to the fact this one was coming out before Genshin Impact, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, this is an ancient. I can count how many games came out before this.
Yeah, so this one was originally gonna be coming out about the same time Genshin Impact did, or a little bit after, but then had delays and then COVID and so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
That all these other games like Genshin Impact, New World, Lost Ark, and all that,
Yeah.
they all got the chance to release first. Which, to me, I personally think that's almost a blessing in disguise for Blue Protocol, because it's now they have the opportunity to, like,
Learn.
okay, we had those ideas. What failed? What didn't? Now we can actually, like, have that, like, confirmed for us.
Yeah, so this has originally, to my knowledge, been in the works, or been publicly in the works since like 2018.
Yeah.
It
But yeah,
probably
don't forget,
well
this
before
game-
that.
Don't forget, this game's supposed to be the quote Genshin killer.
Even though Tower of Fantasy did that, like,
Oh my.
I mean, it didn't hold to that point. Tower of Fantasy died
Yeah.
kind of quick, but it took, like, I
did
think
okay.
a third of Genshin's player base for about a month. So, yeah, no, I'm mainly excited for this game though, because if all these anime MMOs that have came out lately, and pretty much to this day, apart from I guess Final Fantasy 14, which you can consider an anime MMO, it's less the graphic design than I want, but also the content in Final Fantasy 14 is not my favorite. It's okay, at least for where I'm at now, but it's not what I prefer. But the content in this will be more like dungeony based, raid based, and stuff. Like it's got that type of in-game content, and that is something that I've really been craving for, especially in an anime MMO.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I'm excited for it is, one, it's a newer MMO, so as long as I can get my hands on it at the very beginning within the first month or so, that allows me to become possibly one of the players in the player base that actually gets to know everything, like right off the bat, like learns everything, can help others, pretty much pulling characters I enjoy from different animes, and possibly almost in a sense like what not becoming, but what is it? What's that wording? Whatever. Yeah, so pretty much becoming those characters from the different animes I enjoy, like Log Horizon, where Shiro is like looked upon for advice from multiple players. I also enjoyed the idea of how the guild system is going to go into, which we can talk about later. I enjoy how it's similar to WoW with all the dungeons and stuff like that, but it's going to be a new game, so it's a game that I'm going to be able to like learn from when new people come in and they have questions. I can more than hopefully I can help them out. I gotta make sure I understand everything, and so it's that, along with possibly building a guild with Finn, with Slash, and a few other people. I don't know how we're gonna do the vetting process as of yet, but like things like that. That's the reason I'm so excited. Also, I don't know. I know there's an economy in this game. I don't know if they talked about whether or not it's gonna be a
That's gonna be an interesting topic.
That's another part I'm excited about, because New World was a player-based economy for the most part, and I love that. That part I enjoyed, and that was one of my focuses. That was the bread and butter for New World for me. And if that comes to this with Blue Protocol, oh, that's gonna make this one that's just gonna be icing on the cake.
Yeah, I've played other games with player-based economies, they're probably gonna sell the cosmetics for like 1 trillion gold or something. The pay-to-win cosmetics for 1 trillion gold or whatever.
Any paid cosmetics, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Assuming they'll allow that. They'll probably
Yeah,
allow
assuming that those are like sellable or not. Something that a lot of
I
games lately are doing are any actually purchasable items aren't sellable, if that makes sense. Like anything that you use IRL currency for is not sellable inside the game.
but games are also, and they've been doing it since WoW. Uh, it's purchasable with real life money, but you can also earn enough in-game money to purchase it.
Hmm.
So that's also a thing they could look into.
That's something that
Which,
I hope happens
which
to some degree.
because it also depends on how they're actually making their money. Because if you do it, because that's one, I think one of the reasons why WoW did so well is the fact that they allowed it where you could pay your monthly subscription by just playing the game.
Hmm. The same thing happened with RuneScape too.
Yeah.
You could literally
It's a lot
it
of
was
money in game.
it was a
but-
form of a gold sink too, because you could, through a lot of playing, you could make enough money in order to toss your gold away to get more membership to keep playing. So it's a good gold sink.
It's also a good way to keep members going through for people that don't have the money, like college students who typically don't have the money to spend,
Hmm.
like high schoolers who don't typically have the money to spend. I mean, it just helps with a lot of people who have other real life priorities, yet they still want to play the game and still have the same benefits as is paying for a subscription, but don't have the money for it.
So we're like almost
I
40
think,
minutes in. So I want to move down the list a little bit.
Okay.
Go
Where are you
ahead.
going
Yeah. How about if you mind if I go, Ace?
Sure.
All right. Which class are you guys gonna pick?
I haven't looked at the classes honestly just yet. I'm trying to find them.
Okay.
Now,
Uh,
the what's it called? I think it's called the Blade Warden now. I might be
Yeah.
choosing them.
You use Sword and Shield.
Yeah. I feel like I would either do them or the No. Sorry. I am definitely doing the Twin Striker. I forgot about that one. The dual
Oh, that's a
axis to
dual?
me. Yeah, the dual axis to me. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
I don't know which one I want to do. Like, I'm
Don't
looking
you
at them
want to
right
be
now.
Shiro? Pick Spillweaver.
Yeah.
It's probably the only that's probably the only caster class you have.
What, the spellcaster?
Yeah, Spillweaver.
Like,
That's the only one you
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I would love to be Hero with all that knowledge. But like, if y'all remember my playstyle from like college with Super Smash Brothers, I'm just the let me run it as slash. Let me run it as slash. So like, that's why a lot of games I enjoy the Sword and Shield.
Yeah, you'd
Which is
probably
why I
be.
use. So like, it's a tough call, like, cause I enjoy the Sword and Shield. I enjoy the archer. And I enjoy the mage. But it's like, which one do I want to do? How am I gonna build my character? Because that's one thing I definitely do when I like with the MMOs and stuff is I create a character and like create the story for the character and everything, and kind of like make a almost an like not but like an RPG style, like a Skyrim character, where it's like you're trying to decide like, oh, how would this not Skyrim, freaking D&D, pretty much make it a D&D character with his backstory and everything. That's kind of how I go about when I'm trying to make these characters. So it's like I'm not sure. I have to see more when it releases before deciding on that.
Mm-hmm. I will say one thing that made me happy was in the latest dev stream when they announced that Amazon was going to be the publisher for North America and other global countries. They aren't going to let them change the game in a way that the devs don't like it. So the devs at the end of the day have complete control over the game. So Amazon can make cosmetic changes and stuff, but if they do something that alters the developer's intended way of playing the game, then they will actually deny that change. So that was very enlightening to see, very heartwarming.
So I'm assuming, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I'm assuming you guys have watched the trailers, like the announcement trailer at the Game Awards and the other trailer. They only have like 2 trailers so far, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
It's definitely at least 2, unless they reuse the trailer. But the villain.
You want to segue into the trailers? I think we covered enough of the classes, right?
I mean, yeah. What were you planning on running class wise?
Probably Spellweaver. Yeah.
Spellweaver, I think was good.
I always pick the magic class.
Yeah, that's so okay. On this note, real quick, actually, you can have multiple characters. So say you got bored of Aegis Fighter, Aegis Fighter. I don't know how it's pronounced, but say you got tired of playing the Sword and Shield and you wanted to be a DPS, or you've been doing nothing but tank roles and now you want to do like a DPS role. You can have a character under the same account, so you can actually make another character, do another build, whatever it may be, and it would still be on the same account. I don't know if you'd be the same level or like keep your experience or however that may be.
I feel like it would definitely change. I don't think you'd keep your same levels.
Yeah. I know, so like the way I'm imagining it is kind of it's a little bit how Paragoning works in Diablo, if you guys have done that at all.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, so you'll have like all these points from leveling, and once you start a new character, you would reinvest those points into how you want those how those invested into your skills for that character. That's what I'm picturing. But this is purely speculation, so I have no idea.
Is there gonna have multiple characters that we can make? I'm assuming we can pick multiple classes.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably. Do you think they'll make more classes in the future?
I think they've confirmed already that they have 2 other classes planned for release.
Right.
But
I feel like more classes and we can make more than one character. That's not a lot, you know.
Yeah, 5 is definitely not that many. 5 is the amount that we have right now. But they did say that they were pushing out 2 more classes by release. I don't know if they're going to be in the beta or not. I hope so. I feel like they should be, but they might not be ready yet.
You think they're gonna so in Elsword, like you can have multiple characters and then you can change their classes into different like routes or something like that. You think they're gonna do that? Because I feel like say you have a sword character, you can make them a great sword character or a dual-wielding sword character, you know?
I don't...
Because they have to do something to, like, spice things up, you know? The gameplay.
I feel like they might...
Especially for character progression. They have to do something with that.
I think they'll probably change abilities and stuff. I don't think they'll change the weapon like layouts for characters. So like where the tank normally has like these set like 6 to 8 abilities or something, I think in a future update or maybe a balancing patch they'll probably change those abilities or give him more. And then you'll have like a choice of like say 8 abilities out of like 20 abilities that he has. I think that's what they'll probably end up doing.
Okay, I'm gonna hop in with the with what Wild Card Crimson was asking. What race will y'all pick?
There are different races.
So I actually don't think there's really races.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think there is.
talk about it, but there's nothing confirmed.
Because they're
and-
so like the characters. So like you're given a few default characters out of the like out off the beginning. Like whenever you start, you're given a few characters, and then you can design and customize those characters. But like race wise, I don't think there's really anything, and that actually ties into a little bit of the publisher stuff in Japan and Korea, which the Korea version of the game is actually made by Smilegate, so it's a little bit different. But overseas, there actually aren't any colored skins or skin colorization. Basically, it's just
so they're all white.
because
Wait,
because that makes
Yeah,
that makes sense to them because there's not that many people of color over there. But in North America, it'll be different. That's already been one of the confirmed cosmetic changes that Amazon will be making. So you would have those.
I'm gonna assume it's gonna have a similar design process as New World for the character customization.
I am unfamiliar with the New World customization, so
Changes skin tone, hair tone, or hair color, eye color, just your basic RPG style, like facial structure.
yeah, face structure. I think a little bit of body structure, but nothing like over the top. And that was actually
Nothing like Fallout levels.
yeah. Nothing like the shitty bad anime MMOs. Or Soul Calibur levels. Nothing like that.
Like they have height, hair, voice types, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Yeah, pretty safe actually, which is good. I like things not being overly sexualized. So
So, I do have a question for y'all.
okay, hit me.
It's going into about the teams, which is the quote unquote guilds. So, because for a team, you can have so many members, but to increase the member cap size, you have to increase your team's ranking
Yes.
by going out and
Yes.
doing things.
I'm very
How-
excited.
What are y'all's feelings about that? Because I have my own. I'll talk about them later after. I want to hear about y'all's.
I honestly really like it. Like I oh, man, I'm really excited about that. So you have a cap of 30 people at base level, which is it might be 20 actually. I actually forget. I'm
think
sorry.
It's 30.
It's either 20 or
It's what-
30 because 30 is the max amount of people for the world bosses.
And I'm just gonna add in here before we continue. The only feature that's quote unquote accessible at the start of it is gonna be just a team chat. That's the only thing so far confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, you can party up easier within your team to like, go to dungeons and stuff or raids, whatever it may be. But yeah, there's nothing like special, no rewards or anything yet that I know of. Which sucks, but they did say that they have plans to like they have a lot of future stuff planned for teams, guilds. So
I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited for it.
I think one of my excitements
Okay.
for it. Actually,
Yeah, they
before-
have go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Okay, they said we can do quests, boss fights, and online raids for co-op. We can also do dungeon raid or missions. There's solo matchmaking and recruiting parties, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, okay. So going in with the guilds or the teams, my next thing I'm curious about is because how back in day TeamSpeak was so prevalent with games to be uh, the voice where you could talk to everyone, and it also allowed you to have the priority of who has priority speaking versus who doesn't. And now
Mm.
Discord doing something similar with with it. Do you think they're gonna have an in-game voice, local like a voice to speak type of thing, or do you think it's gonna be everyone's gonna be meeting up, making a Discord, and going from there during dungeons and so forth?
I actually am curious whether or not they'll make an in-game voice chat. I think they would, honestly, but I don't feel like they would chunk that much money into it because I feel like they are probably in touch with the gaming community to some degree, and they know that pretty much everyone that is hopping in a voice chat is going to be using Discord already.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and that's the reason I'm curious about it because in New World, there were people legit made uh, factions. So like, there's three factions, the Syndicate and so forth was one of them. But like each faction had its own Discord page, and so people would join that Discord so they could get the information from that group, and then inside of it there was the sub guilds. So like there was guilds, the guilds and stuff inside are the companies, as they were called.
Mm-hmm.
That way you could talk to them and like work things out. I'm curious if that's gonna have a similar effect in this because they did have end game voice in New World for local, uh, for for you to talk to like local people.
Mm. I don't. Hmm.
And so that's why I'm curious how they're gonna do this because like I personally enjoy the end game voice chat as a local proximity chat.
I was about to say I wouldn't hate if they had proximity chat, but maybe just in like as a toggleable feature, so it's off by default. But then if you turned it on, maybe
Well,
you could
it's
like free roam.
typically I think it would probably just be a push to talk
Hmm.
because
Is
that's
it
how.
confirmed that Blue Protocol will have a voice chat? I
No,
can't find
no,
any info on
no,
it.
No,
no.
no, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
No confirmations. This is me speculating.
Well, I'm
And
just
Okay.
putting an idea out there, like wondering how it would be if they had voice chat or if they were to implement voice chat. I don't think they will personally because they probably know that most gaming communities,
are toxic.
well, just they're trying to make the game T for teen versus M, and I think any bit that they can take away from the
Okay,
M
so
rating, which voice chat will be included in that.
yeah, if that's how they want to do it,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
looks like
think voice chat's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
It's
looks
gonna
like
be all types typing.
yeah, it looks like they only have chat with messages and a chat ring. I
Yeah.
think that's chat rings like emotes.
I mean, but at the same time, I don't hate that either because that allows you to like role play your character more. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
so like for me, unless I get a voice changer, I can't role play as a female character because I don't have the female voice. My voice is too deep. Unless I had a voice modulator that would change entirely. But like if it's just typing, I can type and write whatever the heck I want, however I want it to sound like. And then it's now like, okay, that's what she would say. That's what this character would say. That's how that character would say it.
Hmm. So, one of the biggest elephants in the room, getting that out of the way. Fishing. Fishing.
You don't like fishing?
Well, what are your thoughts on fishing? Considering that was a highlight of, what was it, Stream 5? Or Stream 4?
It's actually talking about in 6.
Well, it is talked about in 6, but that's because they made improvements to it.
Yes.
I don't know when they announced it. I want to say it was Dev Stream 5.
I mean, why do you think that's an elephant in the room? I'm curious to understand why you think it's such a big deal.
I don't know what it was about fishing, but the whole entire like online community went AWOL at the fishing, and I feel like maybe it was because they spent a whole dev stream. They didn't spend the whole dev stream, but they spent a huge chunk of the dev stream for fishing, and they were all very excited about it. So
I don't know about you, but
like...
I enjoy the fishing aspect of games.
I like
it's
it.
Because it's one of those peaceful moments where you could just like sit there, as long as you're not in a place where you know you're gonna get screwed.
mm-hmm.
You can just sit there, and it's almost one of those things that you can do as you AFK.
Yeah, so like, it's a slightly AFK thing. It's something that you can do almost anywhere. I mean, there's oceans and water almost anywhere, and it's low risk. And from what they've said recently, it's one of the first sellable items that you'll be able to obtain.
So I feel like it's
pretty
gonna
much
be.
is.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says you can only just sell fish. It doesn't mention anything like cooking or anything like that.
Yeah, there's nothing else outside of like being able to sell it right now. They obviously are still working on it a lot, but
So I think it's gonna be one of those things. It's only sellable unless, because they don't have a cooking system, right? They don't have a.
not at the moment.
Yeah.
So unless they bring in a cooking system, it's a purely quick, easy get cash in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if you're short, you're going, oh, I need to go fish for so and so. But then it begs the question: what can you catch, and what's the prices for each catch?
Yeah.
Is it better to sell stuff in bulk? Is it better to sell stuff by itself? And then that also comes back to, is it a player market where it's player built? Because if there's no use for fish, why would people be buying it?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. A lot of the pricing depends on who, like what we're selling to, like whether or not we're selling to an NPC or whether or not we're selling to an open market. And if we're selling to an open market and it's one of the first sellable items you can obtain, it's going to be pretty cheap.
But that also goes back into the question of, okay, are there going to be like some legendary things that only so many people can catch?
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a set number of how many are in the world. And so like if you have it, it's a big deal because it's like the rarest thing so far, and so it's kind of like a collector's item.
Yeah, so discontinued.
Is that gonna happen?
I expect fishing was gonna be for like just getting food to heal and feed you. But other than that, I guess you can trade, because Genshin they have their own fishing mini game, which you can catch fish to put in your
It's a part of the cooking, right?
No, you buy fish. You don't cook. You don't cook the fish you sell. You also can trade it for a weapon that's free to play, but it gets outclassed by other gacha weapons. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Fishing is just not that important.
So, sorry.
I will say, if they tie into like a daily quest that allows you to like just say the daily quest of catch 5 fish, I'll give you 500 coins, or 50 coins or whatever. Like that'll just be a daily quest for quick cash
Yep.
Hmm.
And
and some possible free XP.
I definitely think there's going to be dailies and stuff in the game because there was something. Oh yeah, for in-game content or stuff like dungeons, they're already kind of doing dailies from what they've shown us. So that I could definitely see daily quest. Now I do kind of want to move into a new topic because
Okay.
we're an hour in and I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
That's because
Um,
they got so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, the dev stream alone was an hour, so. So campsite areas and teleportations, teleportation like portals and stuff. So the thing that I'm probably the most happy about is kind of this lodestone circuit that they're gonna have. So how I've interpreted it so far is you at first you don't have any access to teleportation methods, but as you explore the world you find these campsites, which are rest stops essentially throughout the world, which are also completely separated from any enemy aggro, so they'll be completely safe. You'll heal whenever you sit at them, and right beside them you'll find teleportation crystals that you'll have to turn on first before you have access to them. And then throughout your time exploring the world, you'll also have other teleportation crystals that you need to turn on before you have access to them. But once you've turned them on, you now have a teleportation system throughout wherever you've explored. Which I am in love with this so far because that's how one of the MMOs that I play, RuneScape, that's how that's essentially a system that they have, and I love that system. It's really good.
Yeah, no, I'm more of the brutal person when it comes to teleportation.
Oh,
if
you
ever-
walk everywhere?
Yeah, I enjoy that method because to me, with games with teleportation and stuff like that, it's convenient. Don't get me wrong, I definitely use it, but that's part of the reason why I get so bored with the game is because it's like, okay, now there's no real point because I can just move around at ease without ever worrying about getting attacked, so forth, and there's no more consequence. Like,
Okay,
now,
there's a channeling time on the teleport though. You can't just teleport out of combat like that.
no, I get that, but so I don't for teleportation. Like when you're in the field, I don't have anything against it where, oh, I'm gonna recall back to this town because that's my safe point.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm based. That's my safe point. That's where all my stuff's linked. If you're on the field and you're done, you're like, okay, I'm low, I can't travel. You have a return to home spell, which is wherever you set up your base or with your team or whatever.
Sure.
But I personally don't like the idea of, oh, there's all these safe space with a teleportation system next to them. Like, I like the safe spots. I just don't like, oh, there's also a teleportation with them. But that's me. I hate myself and I hate life and stuff, which is why I enjoy the I walk everywhere standpoints.
See, okay, so I love it because of the way that they have it at first, because it's immersive at first. You have to explore the world and find these places first, so you get that bit of immersion, but you don't want to, in my opinion, you don't want to experience this whole new world 5-6 times and have to walk there. And then I'm a very in-game person. I love doing in-game content and pushing high level raids, and if your team, guild, whatever is based out of a certain town and you have to go back to that town and then you want to go back to this in-game raid or content that is on the other side of the map, I don't want there to be a 50-minute walk locked behind it,
Okay, if you're going from town to town that you've been to, I don't see any issue with some teleportation because in a magical world with anime related stuff, I would not ever imagine, oh, there's no way that they don't have a teleportation system between the towns for safety.
Mm-hmm.
But like from inside the field to a town, that's where it's like, I don't think people would just randomly like set stuff up because that brings so much potential danger to that town now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my mind process on that.
I see what
So,
you're saying
like-
now. So like you wouldn't be able to teleport out of the middle of nowhere to a city. You would,
Yeah,
but
like,
you'd be
if
able to
there's a
teleport.
camp, like if someone set up a camp, they're not gonna set up a teleportation system because like, okay, what happens if that gets attacked? They can now use that teleportation system to get into the town and now attack the town.
Well, no. So the logic behind
But-
it is they
but
have to turn on. Each individual player or NPC has to turn on the crystal to wherever they're going. So that means that place that would get attacked, that means that those people had already had to have been there.
But that's my thing. It's just like if
Don't think too much about it, Mason.
it's whatever. I mean,
Hey, maybe you're revealing the in-game evil villain story that like.
hey, that's another thing I'm also interested in. It's like one of those things. It's back to the character creation. I don't know if I want to be the villain that would do all this. Because that would be definitely a fun character to play, just to be the massive villain like a Heathcliff. You build all this trust up with everyone in the world. It's like, nah, folks, you bit yourself in the butt.
One thing I'm happy about though with the whole campsites and teleports is I'm happy that out in the field, whether or not they have teleportations or not, out in the field there are these rest points where you can actually heal. You don't have to travel all the way back to the city, or you're not forced to use these potions that are locked behind in-game currency. You're not forced to use those to heal. You have these little rest points where you can heal. To me,
Yeah.
that's very. I like that.
Very nice.
I like that because you're not forced to use all these resources. Which, as a hardcore, sometimes a hardcore player, I'm a little
That-
against it. But overall, playing wise, I like it.
I definitely understand because, like, especially like when playing games like Minecraft, and yes, I am saying Minecraft, where certain resources are a finite resource. So, like
Mhm.
iron, I have a hard time of building armor out of that resource because it's like there's still a good chance I can die in it, and if that's the case, it's a waste. The benefit, the only thing I really need is a sword and a pick. Everything else can be out of stone.
Hmm.
And so like my process is okay with the save systems. Like I enjoy that because it's one of those things. It's okay, now I don't have to use this potion. I don't have to use this. I can now save stuff. A thing I would love to see, but I doubt it's gonna be a thing, is like, will it have like a little repair station for possible pieces of equipment that got broken? Not like a full repair, but like enough to put it back together, and maybe like half the HP or durability it has until you get back to town.
Now,
But again, I don't know what the durability system is going to be like for items, or if they actually have a durability system.
I was about to say I don't think they'll have a durability system. Now on the camp note, well, actually, I guess this is more exploration note. We have the Wandering Gourmet, which was a DevStream 6 premiere. So we have 3 different Wandering Gourmets, and what they do is they basically feed you, and you get buffs from them. Now, I don't know if this is going to carry into any raids or dungeons, or if this is just a random open world
I
feature
assume
that
so.
you find. So,
I assume so. This was like, this is just Tales stuff where you can like go to your camp, cook food, get buffs, and then go on to the next whatever you need to do.
mhm. See, but these don't come to the camp. These are people that you find just roaming
In the
in the
wild.
open world. Yeah. See, so that's my so like.
It says they will be available in each camping area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
now, but my
This might be different
here,
then.
here's me over analyzing it once again. Depending on these characters, the Wandering Gourmet or Gourmet, or however you freaking pronounce it. What's the reasoning there? Is it gonna be like a buff that you are required? Is it a buff you need to beat a certain boss, like a field boss? If you're like a certain level, or does it help you benefit against certain creatures, or like what's their purpose?
So we
Like,
don't know their actual buffs, at
It's-
least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But again, that goes back to the
Yeah.
what is their purpose?
I'm guessing green is like HP, blue is defense, and then red is attack.
Yeah, that's my guesstimation as well. I don't know if they have a
But here's the thing.
purpose.
But here's the thing, because aren't there elements? So couldn't green be?
Yes, but there's like 6 elements, so it'd be odd to have.
But this are just the 3 confirmed ones, right? Or is this all of them?
They haven't said whether or not that's all of them or not,
So
but
could it be possible that
it could be
elemental
possible.
boost?
It could be possible, and it could even be possible that each one has 2 different ones, and maybe you even choose them. I just think it's more likely that they're HP, defense, and attack buffs versus elemental. Because I think the elemental system is going to be purely behind weapons, and I think that's the idea so far.
Looks like elements are for skill set debuff
Yes.
and apply burst effects. So there's fire, ice, lightning, earth, light, and dark.
Mm-hmm. And each
Okay.
element applies different debuffs and have different levels of debuff. And then once the max level is reached, it also does a burst effect per that element.
So, what's y'all's thoughts about the beauty salon?
Beauty salon?
It was talked about in the Dev 6 videos, where there's 2 different types of tickets. You can go to an NPC, and one of the ticket systems that you can use will actually allow you to change your character's gender, along with a few other things.
I really hope that they do not. I'm sorry, this is going to go off on a little tangent. I really hope that they do not do a gender specific quest, because that was one of the games a long time ago that I played had that exact thing where it was so much easier if you were I think it was a guy. You had to be a guy in order to do it, and it was so annoying. They did reimburse you if you were a female, because they had like a makeover wizard that would turn you into a guy and then turn you back. It was RuneScape, but this was like a super old quest, but it was so annoying because like you base your whole entire character around who they are, and then you have to go change real quick. To me, that was super annoying. So I just hope they don't put a quest behind that, basically.
Yeah, it looks like you can change your gender in the beauty salon.
I do like how they have the highlights. You can actually like add different highlights
Yes.
on your hair, so like you can have. But along with this, I'm just imagining so many people with the rainbow highlights and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna get so annoyed with it because it's just like, why? It's a video game. Let that be. Let's not bring that here.
Oh yes, you can
Also,
pet
you
the
can-
dog. You can pet the dog. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So I forget where the dog is. I think it's just the dog in the first town. Which there's this YouTube channel, or maybe it's a Twitter channel, but it literally highlights every single game in which you can pet the dog in the game. And it's a very viral account. So I don't know if they're catering to that account or not, or if they're actually catering to the cuteness of petting the dog.
It's not just a dog, it's all the animals. It's just interacting with animals.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can find animals that are not dogs and still pet them and play with them.
Yes.
Which I guess, jumping back to the beauty salon, this one now transfers over to the clothing. I do like how you can customize the color of the clothing.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
I am interesting because it's like I can now go back to my Halo. Shop. I can go back to my Halo colors of like cobalt blue with some like red, or like now we can actually like you can make a team's color and be like, okay, for identification, everyone has to have this certain item on in the team, this color.
Yes. I love that.
So like that's gonna make certain things so much interesting. But at the same time, I'm curious. Of course, this is me like enjoying the espionage and stuff like that and of systems. But like, if you could like infiltrate another group by like arranging the colors of your stuff and like just trying to like blend in and just like chill around it until they realize that your name isn't there and you're not actually part with them, but you look like them, and so you can actually like get information and try to run away. Whether or not that's gonna be a thing or not, that'd be interesting.
Damn.
Honestly, that'll probably be a bit too complicated. They'll probably just make it some lame stealth mission.
I mean, I'm talking about like player versus player though, like PvP stuff.
I don't know.
That's the part I'm like, because
isn't PvP just gonna be done like an arena dungeon?
I don't actually know if there's PvP yet or not.
I would imagine PvP.
It definitely has a like support behind it, but I don't know if that's something that they're gonna want to push out. Like I can see the appeal to it.
I feel like when it comes to the servers, they might have like certain worlds that are PvP enabled, which when you're in the wild you can be attacked, versus servers that are purely PvE. I can definitely see that.
Oh, and then the how do you feel about the photo mode? I'm definitely gonna like it because like I can only imagine like after slaying a world boss or something and you have its like dead corpse there like for a couple seconds before it disappears, you just like quickly go into photo mode and you have your whole entire like team behind you doing like random emotes or something behind it.
Yeah, so
the thing about it is
no, go ahead, because my thing's gonna touch on two different things.
Yeah, it says that during photo mode you can use it in combat, so you don't have to like pause the game to enter photo mode. I think that's it. Oh yeah, you can use animation skills, emotes, and edit the player next to you. Oh, what else? Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, so I personally enjoy the photo mode because, like you were saying, Finn, about like if you slay like if you're the group that first destroys like the first boss by yourselves, that's a picture that you could take and post it throughout the Discord. Be like, "Sup, guys? You're the first ones." Like that's such a bragging rights ability, which I personally love as someone who enjoys the bragging rights like aspect of games. But that also when it's doing with final bosses and like field bosses, I'm curious. I highly doubt it, but it would be interesting if there was like a system kind of like in the anime Bofuri, where if you can defeat the boss within a certain time frame, you get special items, or if you defeat a boss so many times within a certain time frame, you get special items and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I highly doubt that's gonna be a thing. But that would be interesting if they actually do it, if somehow that was implemented.
So, on the idea of getting rewards for killing a boss, I want to go ahead and jump into
Extra reward system.
yeah, a little bit of the concerning topic, which is probably what most people are interested in. It's the thing that I'm most invested in right now because it's a big factor of how invested I get into the game. Which I'm already like head over heels for the game. It's just this is just a big factor. So there's two things right now that are looking a little bit pay to win, and it is there's a part of it's either the Ultimate Battle Pass or it's it's almost like an XP buff that you buy, but instead of that, it increases the amount of loot that you get from completing dungeons or raids. They talked about it on this last dev stream very, very briefly. They didn't say whether or not it increases your chance at a higher level reward, but what they did say was that it increases the amount of loot that you get.
I mean, but at the same time, that gives you the probability of getting a higher reward.
Well, I could see it from the perspective that I said it. I could see it where, like, say you get 5 rolls, so you get these 5 items, but now you get these 5 items, and now instead of getting 1 of each, say it just gives you 2 of each. So I could see that being a thing. Which would still be a type of pay to win because now you have more in-game currency, or maybe some of those are like crafting mats or something that you use to craft a new weapon or something.
No, I can get behind it because on the fact that if that system doesn't change the chances of what items you can get.
Yes, and I'm a little bit for that, but it also depends on what you get from these dungeons and raids that determine how impactful it is.
Because to me, it's one of those things. It's okay if I don't want to play that game so much, I got a group that plays it, but I don't want to like spend so much time on it to grind that boss. I'm willing to pay a little bit extra to possibly get more items, just to boost up my character, as if someone who was like you, who's gonna be, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm gonna grind this boss until I get everything. Like,
see, but then you have the people that are like me, where they'll play 2 weeks straight, but on top of that 2 weeks straight, they'll do the same thing that you do, where they'll get the double quantity or triple quantity, whatever it may be, extra loot.
I mean, and that's just, and I mean, I'm fine with that because that all that comes back to is, are you playing the game? If you are, okay, you're gonna be grinding no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to pay for it? You have the chances to get the same stuff, but you can now pay for it. Okay, if you want to spend the money, go ahead and spend the money.
Yeah.
Like it's not to me, that's not pay to win. It's just, to me, it's YouTube. Do you want ads or do you not? You get the same end product, but one has ads, one doesn't. To me, that's how I see it.
I feel like there's getting that little bit extra in-game gold, possibly, or in-game crafting mats. To me, I feel like that's gonna be a little bit rough if that's how that plays out. But again, we kind of have to wait to see how impactful those are.
We will, but it also comes down to more than likely, you're gonna have your hardcore players that are paying for it and everything, versus your casual players who just don't care. They're just there to play the game with their friends, hanging out. But that doesn't mean that if you join a team with those hardcore players, that they're not gonna share their loot with you. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna try to help you. Like
Assuming that you can.
yeah, I mean, so it comes down on who are you playing with, how how intense and dedicated are you gonna be?
Mm-hmm. So I will say, a little bit of it does depend on how impactful those items are, which we'll just have to wait and see. And then the
Yes.
other thing, it is a free-to-play game, so I completely understand they have to make an amount of money somewhere, and whether or not they get enough cosmetically to make that profit versus whether or not you have to have that slight bit of pay for convenience or pay for extra quantity. Though I don't believe in the longevity of the game through pay for convenience, so to speak. It's definitely how a lot of people make money quicker and then they get out of the business, basically. Because I could see them realizing that the game, oh, this game isn't going to last, let's make it pay for convenience or slightly pay to win, and then get out of the game.
So just like a quick cash grab.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I doubt it. I mean,
yeah. I like
wouldn't
too
be
many
surprised,
people.
Like, I mean, considering how much hype they had, I would say they would try it because they know people are gonna drop it like about a week or a month after. It all comes down to the devs
Mm-hmm.
how they handle it because they're the one thing that people complain about is not having enough to do because you know the Twitch streamers and the YouTubers who are playing this game for for money.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be playing this game like 24/7, and they're gonna complete everything day one, and they want more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing that is the content inside the game because it's one of those things, like you said, slash YouTubers and streamers are gonna beat everything day one.
Because they have nothing else better to do.
I mean that is to me it's one of those things. Are they doing it by themselves because, or do they have a group? Because like, I feel like Blue Protocol is a game where you can definitely solo play it, but the sole purpose of it is to play with a group.
Yeah.
Like most MMOs, it's a group game, and that's why I don't know like, because I know for a fact that we're all gonna play it. We're gonna stream it.
Yeah.
I assume Slash, you're gonna stream it on your channel or on Virtual Rejects wall.
Yeah. The thing is will it be like what's it, Lost Ark and that other game, Tower Fantasy? Like, will I enjoy it as much as those two? Because like my honeymoon phase for those two games were like 1 or 2 days, and then I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, touching on the pay-to-win topic one more time, there's one other feature that is coming across a little bit sus. So, the rose orbs. There is... So they said that you would be able to buy rose orbs both with in-game currency as well as IRL currency. Now, these rose orbs... There's a shop, essentially, in the game. So there's a Rose Orb shop in the game, and then on top of that, there's a way that you upgrade crafting, essentially, to get a chance at extra slots when crafting weapons. So, and that you have to use Rose Orbs to get that extra chance. So
Rose Orbs or the paid currency?
Paid and in-game. So you can get them with in-game as well, but you can pay to get them also. So I don't know if you'll be limited to how many purchases you can make on Rose Orbs, because that would help out.
I doubt it.
I also doubt it.
I doubt they would Yeah, they want to make that money, man. There's nowhere they're gonna limit something like this.
Yeah. But the Japanese
Wait, what is it?
devs have also said that they don't want to make the game pay to win, and they're trying to avoid that. So,
What do Rose Orbs do?
so there's a Rose Orb shop, to my knowledge. Now, I'm not sure if that's to buy Rose Orbs, or if that is a different place to spend Rose Orbs. But I know that they can be used when crafting weapons to give them extra slots for your Imagines. I forget what they're called now, but they were previously called Imagines. They're like little spirits that you can have in your weapons that give them extra effects. But yeah, if Rose
It says
Orbs...
they can raise the level of your season pass. So there's gonna be a season pass as well.
Yeah, there's season pass as well, a battle pass, and then so there's the extra chance of crafting. Fuck, there was one other thing. Extra awards, the season pass. Oh, and then in most chances, so they increase the amount of quote unquote dailies that you can do. So something that you can do only 3 times a day, it then becomes 10 times a day through the use of Rose Orbs. Now, this ties back into that part where you can get the Rose Orbs with in-game currency as well. Whether or not you can afford enough Rose Orbs to remove that 3 a day barrier and make it 10 a day with only in-game currency through Rose Orbs, whether or not you can do that will kind of determine how effective that is in a pay-to-win sense. I think that makes sense. But yeah, that's the only other thing that I'm worried about pay-to-win wise. Mason, thoughts?
Yes.
Thoughts? The Rose
Sorry,
Orbs?
I was not paying attention. I was talking in the chat with Wildcard Crimson about my take on the paying for the extra items versus not paying. So where are we again? Because
So we're talking about Rose Orbs right now, which is a secondary way to possibly get a pay-to-win opportunity. So the Rose Orbs are something that you can buy with IRL currency as well as in-game currency, both. There is a Rose Orb shop. I'm not sure whether or not that is to buy the Rose Orbs with in-game currency or if that is somewhere to spend Rose Orbs. But then they also, Rose Orbs are used when crafting weapons to give you a chance at an extra slot, or a greater chance, sorry, at an extra slot. The extra slot can still be obtained through normally crafting, but it's just a lesser chance. And then they also are used to remove the 3 a day limit on your dailies, whatever those are. I forget, I think it's a specific dungeon where you can only do it 3 times a day. You can now do it 10 times a day through Rose Orbs. So slightly pay to win from what it sounds, but
from what it sounds like, yeah.
But at the same time, if you can get the Rose Orbs with in-game currency, it depends on how much you can get the Rose Orbs with in-game currency, like how much they're going to cost with in-game currency.
And that sounds like
It's very iffy, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to wait till
Yeah.
they give out more information before I can actually make a judgment call on what my opinion is about it.
Yeah, it's so far that's my only like real concern. But the fact that you can get them with in-game currency still, like if you're in-game and you have all the money in the world, I don't feel like it's gonna be an issue, really, because you'll be able to buy so many Rose Orbs with in-game currency. But I think this might tie back into what you were saying, whereas if you're a casual and you're not in-game but you want to still keep up with your team a little bit, you can make that purchase to keep up a little bit, get that extra boost of gold. But if you're in-game, that gold might not matter to you.
Yeah. but at the same time, and it goes back around to like, if they do that, is it almost a similar? Is that part of the season pass? Is that gonna be? Or can you get them through like the season pass?
So
and,
I
like,
do,
do the achievements through it.
I do think you actually will be able to get some Rose Orbs through the season pass. Which
Now-
again, I'm perfectly okay with the season pass being a thing or the battle pass, whatever it's called. I'm perfectly okay with that being a thing because again, the game is free to play. So I understand
Now
they got to make
but
that money.
The question is can you earn enough in-game money or in-game events or items or whatever to purchase the Game Pass through in-game means, or is the Game Pass purely a paid item?
Now that is something that I do not know about. I'm not sure if you'll be able to purchase the season pass or not through in-game
And
means.
the reason I bring this up is because of what Overwatch 2 is doing with their Battle Pass, and that it hurts so much because you have to pay IRL, and like you can pay via in-game coins, but the way to get the in-game coins is so much grinding by playing games after games after game after
Mhm.
game after game. You have to spend so much time into the game to actually be able to purchase it, and it's only for one season.
Now, something I would love to see Blue Protocol do is actually something that Apex does with their Battle Pass. Now, though you do have to buy it initially, when playing through that Battle Pass, if you make it roughly about 80% through the Battle Pass, you'll actually have enough currency to buy the next Battle Pass for the next season. To me, that is a good system because it encourages you to play through the Battle Pass and keep playing so you can get the next Battle Pass for free. So their devoted players will actually get a free Battle Pass essentially.
That's if they're not already purchasing it. Like, I know for a fact you're gonna.
Yeah, and some people will go ahead and purchase it, and then they'll get that in-game or that paid currency back just from playing it. But some people will just go ahead and purchase it.
Now, this is just a dream that maybe will happen like 2050 or something when I'm long dead. But like, being able to use the in-game currency to, like you said, where if you pay for the Battle Pass, but if you get to 80% of the Battle Pass from like, you get your monies back pretty much.
Mhm.
But like, if there was a way to actually refund yourself that cash.
Ha. Yeah.
Like, that-
no way.
I doubt that's
No
gonna
way.
happen.
Yeah.
They're
No.
not gonna
If
do
it
that.
does,
They're-
I'm probably gonna be long dead.
they're
but, like,
not-
that'd be amazing.
No company would ever give someone their money back. Not like that, anyways.
No, I bet you $1,000 that the first company that does, they're gonna have.
They're gonna go
Players
bankrupt
for-
and have so many problems.
But here's the thing, they're gonna do that, but they're also gonna have players for life.
I mean, yeah, until their
So-
game runs out.
But here's the thing, though, because if you keep creating games like that, or keep creating content for that game, the players are still gonna play it so they can earn that quick cash, real life cash.
hmm
And there's a lot of ways people can make money off of it. And so as long as you make a net profit, it's still a valuable system.
hmm
Now, I'm not saying that's like starting off, that's going to be like a smart thing to ever to do.
hmm
But it would be something very interesting. I would be very interesting to see. I would definitely follow that group and that game company. And it's something I thought about possibly trying to implement with different things in the future that we have.
So, real quick, to jump to another topic. I know you're excited for this, Mason. I don't know how much you know about it, but what are your thoughts on the Unending Tower? Do you know about this?
What's the unending tower?
So, okay.
It's pretty much gonna be like the end game content.
No, they haven't said whether or not it's in game or not, to my knowledge. But
I mean, it's
being
pretty
in
much
game,
every in game is pretty much just grinding the tower.
Being in game will definitely help you grind through the tower. So okay.
Oh, end game. In game, not in game.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's in game game content.
END.
Yeah. Now I don't. So being END game content, being in the end game will help you do the content of the unending tower. Jesus. Okay, so let me explain it real quick.
So it's an end game, so it's at the end of the game.
No.
No, yeah, end game is basically it's what the tryhards say. Like, you know how people max out their accounts and they're like, oh man, all these enemies are too weak. I need something more challenging.
Yeah, so they go to the unending. They go to the unending tower, where it's pretty much a wave system, or a floor system. As that you clear, you go up and up and up and up.
For the most part, yeah. So okay. So there are 20 floors currently. I'm sure there will be more towards the future, or there'll be other towers. We actually don't know the difficulty of it, but as they were playing through, they made it to floor 11 out of 20 in the dev stream, and they were struggling immensely on floor 11. So there's 20 floors currently, and it's timer based. So you only had 20 minutes to clear the tower of 20 floors. So it's a minute per floor, roughly. Obviously, the first floors are a lot easier, and then it progresses harder and harder, of course.
I don't know how I feel about that. A minute per floor? That's not a lot of time.
Well, okay, so if you think about it, if you are in the end game, you're going to clear those first few floors in seconds, probably.
That's if you go in with a team that is
so
all adequate.
So it is it's 6-man. It is intended for 6-man groups.
Okay, so you're expecting the 6-man group to be competent enough to work in a group. So more likely this group's gonna be a group of players who are on a team who play together, or they're just friends from different teams who play together regularly in a party system, right?
Assuming you're shooting for like the top floors, yes. Yeah, you should probably be competent and good.
So yeah, going off that though, for the people who are, let's just say the casual gamers, who aren't that competent, who don't have a set group to play with, even those first few floors might be easy to kill, but unless they have someone being their strategist, it's still gonna be annoying.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna.
Otherwise, it's literally a bunch of players running around like their heads cut off like chickens, and they're just going after. Well, I'm hitting this person. I'm hitting this person, and it's pretty much that's gonna be the way up until they all die. And to however high the floor they get.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna need some shot calling skills in that party, and even then they might not get to the very top floors. And I feel like that is fine, because I feel like those top floors are reserved for the elite players. That's like an elite goal or objective.
Now I will say this. It's going back to that photo endgame, what is it called? The
photo mode?
Yeah, the photo mode.
Yeah.
Go up to that last floor.
Oh, dude.
And having that picture, you know the bragging rights you're gonna have for that?
Bragging rights are gonna be sick. I imagine for doing the final floor, you're gonna get a specific cosmetic reward or something. There's no way they don't give you that.
Think about being the first group to do it and making the photo and then posting it. I'm sure the first group that does it, there's going to be like a big global announcement too, like server-wide. You don't have to do it with a group, right? You can go solo.
You could go solo. It's anywhere from 1 to 6.
Imagine a solo player running through all 20 floors by himself or herself.
In 20 minutes, though?
But, bro, depending on what happens in the game, you never know.
I mean, more power to you.
anything is possible. That's the beauty of the MMOs.
Anything is possible.
But imagine being a solo player, getting up to the 20th floor, clearing it, and then taking the picture.
Yeah, that would be insane. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Unending Tower. Now I think something that may happen with that is you'll get rewards based on what floors you've cleared. So it'll essentially be content for everyone. It'll be both in-game content and early game content. Which that to me makes sense.
I feel like, and I'm gonna use this loosely. I feel like, because this is something I would do. I feel like the Unending Tower would be something as a training system to build up parties, build up groups for raids, for the bosses.
It'd be like training. You'd be working on your team communication stuff.
But it would allow you to allow you to make those mistakes, allow you to figure out who's the shot caller, who are we listening to, who's the DPS, who's the actual tank, who's doing this, who plays in what roles better. Instead of going out to that boss and like, oh, I'm blaming you, I'm pointing fingers, is like, okay, we could easily fix this and just go into the Unending Tower. If we can get up to a say like, okay, this boss has this much HP and whatever, do like a mind calculation of, okay, to kill him, we're gonna have to reach level 10 within a certain time frame. Okay, that's our goal. Not to beat the whole tower, but to get to this level on this time frame.
Yes.
Now that will force people to listen to the shot caller. It'll force the DPS to pick targets, not just every target, a specific target. The tank will have to aggro the targets, and the archer can pick off targets as well because they're going to be DPS. And so, like, at that point, it's now forcing people to learn to play together, to work together, to play their roles and fill them, to beat that time limit that their team said you have to do if you want to be in this raid.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be kind of like you'd be able to filter players, I guess. It could also be like a way to like even recruit people. Like if so there's a quick party feature, by the way. This might be a good segue.
But
so
like if you're trying to recruit someone and like, you have to help us to get to this level, and we're gonna play on the, like, pretty much you have to fill this role. Like, you want to be a DPS? Okay, you gotta be able to
do your part in the Unending Tower. Yeah.
But the next question about that with the party system is, how much can they screw you over? Like, what's the downside of partying with someone? Do they get half your loot? Can they take all the loot before you get loot?
No.
Everyone get loot?
So it's all the loot goes immediately to the player. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be percentage based off of what you do or how much X person did. But so far, to my knowledge, each player gets their own loot. That is my understanding of everything so far.
Okay. Yeah, no, my playstyle is always focused on player versus player setups, so that's why I'm asking these type of questions. If you haven't noticed.
I am curious about PvP. I'm very
I hope
very interested. I'd like there to be PvP at some point.
I mean, I know in New World there was PvE and PvP, but to be PvP it was faction versus faction.
Yeah.
And so you had to go into the town and enable it. Otherwise you would not be able to be attacked.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that was a decent system, because you could go into the town and be like, calling people from your faction like, hey, we're going to war, we're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, and there's people that would have PvP on no matter what, even if they were by themselves, while they're gathering and stuff like that, just for that extra, like, challenge, I guess you could call it. Because they could be ambushed by a group of PvPers if they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
So things like that, interesting.
I like it. I don't know how much more. They did fix the swimming system. I will say that. If you played the beta, you could.
I was unfortunate not to be able to.
Yeah, I was also unfortunate, but I did tune in. There you could swim and stuff, but unfortunately you could not get out of the water unless you went and found stairs. So if you fell into the water somehow, you would have to swim all the way back to a city where there were stairs.
At least there's no stamina that would like make you drown.
Yeah, it was just really slow. But now you can swim dash, so you can swim a lot faster, and you can also jump out of the water. So very quality of life update there.
Yeah. Is it realistic? No. Well, it's definitely quality of life.
It's definitely a quality of life, but I would not have it any other way. I don't really have too much more. I will say the gacha system so far it's completely cosmetic, the gacha system, and that's it. It's only cosmetic so far, and nothing. They said that nothing is locked behind exclusive like IRL currency. So like they're not gonna lock any content behind exclusive IRL currency. However, the cosmetics will be IRL currency and I believe sellable, but I'm not sure yet. We don't know I don't know how they're wanting the trade system to really go.
Yeah, they haven't talked about that in the recent dev blogs, have they?
No.
That's the dev blog I'm so interested in seeing, because it's just depending on how they build the trade system will determine how much this game is gonna be player built.
Yeah, and sadly we're not gonna get another dev stream until after the Japan beta on January 14th, I believe, 14 through 16. So. Which I expect to get a dev stream maybe a few days after or maybe a month after, depending on whether or not they base their dev stream around the beta. So, I was going to wait for Slash to get back, but he might be gone.
We shall never know.
So, world bosses. How do you feel about world bosses so far? Thoughts?
I like the idea. I'm just worried.
He's back.
Don't worry, I'm still here.
Okay.
Welcome back. I'm worried that another party for a different team can come in and just steal it from you, and then steal the loot.
So I think.
Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, that I have no issue with that, but to me that means you have to have PvP to possibly deal with both threats. Be like, we gotta kill this team so they can't steal our loot. But if there's no PvP and that is still a thing, I think that's kind of crappy.
So I think that's gonna tie back into the thing that I was talking about with their loot system. I think it's going to be like the loot system will be player based and not like not the specific people. So I don't think anyone's going to be able to like steal loot from someone because they either did more damage.
Yeah, that would be absolutely broken.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be like individual based, like each person gets their own loot from contributing. Yeah.
I imagine it's gonna be like dungeon based, where everyone goes in a group. Like the dungeons still make their own rooms for different groups, and you're just fighting the same thing, but everyone gets their own rewards, everyone gets their own dungeons, you know?
I don't know if world bosses would be like that because they're adding world bosses for a sense of immersion. And I don't feel like you'd queue up to go to a world boss. I feel like it's just gonna start. But I know world bosses are also limited to 30 people, so
It's gonna be a pain in the butt then without a queue or something. Like, how are they gonna limit 30 people to a boss without a queue?
I think it's gonna be kind of like a barrier. So like you'll have a zone pretty much for that world boss.
Are you gonna be able to watch the other people while they
Probably. You're gonna be so sad when you get there and 30 people are already there.
You just sit down and start the emoting as you're watching. It's like, "Ooh, he's like, you get there, he's like, I was late by 1 minute, you guys. Bye.
They did say that world bosses before spawning will announce that they're like spawning, so people will get there probably before. Now I'm curious how they're
Okay.
gonna have the channel system set up, or because like so it'll announce and the one channel that's say 50 out of 50 players. Would it be better to be in the channel with 50 out of 50 players, or would it be better to be in channel like I don't know 15, 16 that has like 20 people? So like you might struggle to do a world boss as a casual player with no friends if you're in channel 15 or something and your channel only has like 15 people in it, you know?
See, but that also then brings up the question: is if a team wants to build up their ranking and stuff, I assume fighting world bosses is gonna be one of the ways to rank up.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, wouldn't it be smart for them to find a different sub server where they can have just a team of them, like the 30 group of them, if they have a full 30,
Yeah.
to go fight it?
Yeah, that would definitely be the smarter case.
But is that gonna be even a possibility where you could like if you
Move
get to
to
an area, can you pick the
yeah,
sub server?
yeah. That is something I'm curious about.
Because I have a feeling if you pick a party, that party's gonna be, you can like probably just you're gonna be in whatever party sub server you're in with that party.
Hmm.
But the question is, if you can get to the teams, like your full team's sub server, that's the real question.
Hmm.
Is there anything else that we would like to talk about? Because we went through a lot.
We have gone through a lot. There is controller support. Very happy about this. Very
I'm
good
not playing on controller.
Yeah, I don't expect you to be playing on controller. I'm not either, but I'm
Keyboard
happy
and
about
mouse
this.
best.
I'm happy about this because the player base, there will be a larger amount of players that are happy because there's controller support. So I'm happy, therefore.
I mean, I think the main reason why they're doing controller support is because they're doing the consoles launch as well,
Mhm.
and so they already
That too.
have the console support. So like, we can easily just like import that into the PC version.
Oh, there's a big UI update. So now the UI is completely customizable. All of it. I am in love with that. Yeah, no, you can remove things from your UI. You could literally play hardcore mode with no UI, and you can move all your UI around.
You know that's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a challenge, and it's gonna be a streamer challenge or something of, can you get to, let's say point A, which is a certain area of the map, and defeat this boss with nothing on your HUD, and you have to just travel the world, figure it out on a brand new character.
There's mounts. I forgot to talk about this. Mounts are also part of the gacha system, I believe, as well as purely cosmetic. Mounts do move faster than running. However,
Makes sense. I mean,
yes. However, there's no longer a stamina bar for mounts. There used to be, apparently, in the beta. That got very poor feedback, so they changed that. However, there's still a stamina bar when sprinting on foot, which makes sense to me. I do like this. These are good changes.
I mean,
All the
yeah.
mounts move at the same speed, by the way. So though you can buy
It's just got-
buy other mounts, they're purely cosmetic.
Okay, so it's literally by mount. Do you want your mount to look like a horse, a tiger,
A
whatever
demon
creature
dog, yeah.
I know what mount I would want mine to look like. Do you have a preference to what your mount would look like?
I honestly don't really know. I like the idea of having a Cerberus. Just because I don't know, that seems cool to me. But other than that, maybe like a giant ass like sea serpent. I don't know.
A flying mount would be more convenient. You just ignore terrain.
You're not wrong.
I'm
Nah, I would go with the warg. That would be my mount. Can't go wrong with the warg.
Oh yeah. Special effects appearing on screen is a setting now. So when healing, if there's big sparkly green bubbles, you can now decide whether or not to turn that on or off.
That's gonna save someone's
CPU, yeah.
Yeah.
All their usage.
Low settings, all effects off.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that I feel like you should have them on the sole fact that you're gonna have a better understanding of what's happening.
Oh, that's so good. I'm sorry,
What?
I'm reading through changes. So you can have build presets now for your characters. So like, say you have a tank, you have your generic tank build that you use. That's just like best in slot tank, and then you have like a DPS tank version build to say you're only like a sub tank, and you are running double tank on your team.
Okay.
You can so someone else wants to fill in for the main tank role, you switch to your tank DPS build. It's just a preset. You press the button, you're now in your tank DPS gear versus your main tank gear. So that's super.
That's a quality of life.
That's a
right
big
there.
quality of life, and for them to be having that in the beta is so good.
Yeah. On that topic, I would definitely say that's gonna be where you can have your two tanks, and say your main tank is getting low health, he can swap over to the DPS tank, and then your off tank, who is still full health, can swap over to the main tank now, and the healer, or however the healing process is working, can be healed. Like, he can now be focusing, and then they can swap back out. It's gonna be a one ways where you can swap between swap players out, like you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be a lot easier.
So apparently adventure rank used to be tied to the main story progress, which is no longer a thing. They're now about their own separate progress bars.
I wonder why they changed that.
Yeah, that's just brain dead to me.
It's totally not like Genshin Impact had that, and then that kind of killed itself.
So adventure rank is
messed
now.
up.
Wait, what?
With the Genshin Impact's two different level systems, and you had to be a certain level on your adventure rank. I think it's called the adventure rank, to play
Yeah.
with your friends versus your
Yeah.
world rank.
Yeah,
That
level
that totally did mess up Genshin Impact game for a bit.
yeah. So now clearing different just regular missions raises your adventure rank.
Does it increase rewards? Because in Genshin Impact, the higher your rank is, the more rewards you get.
I don't believe so. At least not to our knowledge right now.
Okay.
Reading through changes still. 50,000 players for the Japanese beta, January 14th to 16th.
I wish I was one of those.
Yes. Hopefully I can get in on that.
When are they sending out the email?
I believe they wanted to do it by the end of December. That's all that I really have, unless Slash has anything.
I don't know really.
They made some quality of life updates out in the field, so like free roaming. It's easier to see random items on the ground. I imagine I imagine bosses and dungeons. You'll have a reward screen with loot that is specifically sent to said player versus dropped on the ground. But I think free roam, killing NPCs and stuff, random monsters or mobs, those will actually drop the loot, I think, but I could be wrong.
We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen because there's a lot that can happen.
You can hide your weapon out of combat now. That's nice. Oh, okay. So for crafting items, you can basically make a wish list for crafting items. So if you're missing one item, you can have the wish list up, and the wish list will tell you what you need to do to get that one item.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, nice little quality of life thing.
It sounds like they have the majority of the game done. They're just
Yes.
now polishing it up.
Exactly.
With quality of life,
Which is good.
testing the server load.
Yes, I am completely happy with it. I'm very happy that they took a year, pretty much, without telling us a single thing, and just focused on the game. I'm
totally happy with it. You're not. At all.
I'm a bit upset because I thought the game was dead, but no, they were tunnel vision. They said, okay, it's time to focus, guys, and then they just didn't say anything for a year.
I mean, it begs the question of what did they actually do in that time frame? Like, what did they toss out? What did they keep? What did they bring in? And if they can do that within a year, what can they add once they release the game and they are now working on new content?
Oh, so this is interesting. Okay, so this is going to be the last thing that I have. You can, quote unquote, no longer speedrun dungeons. So the trash mobs now have to be cleared inside dungeons. Kind of. You can actually do the dungeon without killing all the trash mobs, but you have a higher possibility of missing out on the chests that drop for the gear and the loot from said dungeon. So though you could still complete the dungeon without killing the trash mobs and have that very minuscule chance of getting those items specific to that dungeon or whatever, the chance will be a lot less by not killing the trash mobs.
Now that brings up back to my question about, do you get unique items from like clearing a dungeon out within a certain time frame? Is there a certain time frame to clear out all the trash mobs and the main boss, and do you get a special item because of that? Because it does sound like now, if you clear out the entire dungeon with the trash mobs and the boss, you have a higher likelihood of getting one of the better items, is what it sounded like to me.
I don't think that will necessarily be the case. However, it is inherently the case because you then can run another dungeon, that same dungeon, twice as fast if you were to quote unquote speed run it. So yes and no. I don't think there's going to be any time specific items.
But here's the thing: what if to quote unquote be a speed run, you have to
clear the trash mobs. Yes.
And the dungeon. So you could do the same dungeon and get a better time. But what if there's like a certain... So let's say your first time going through a dungeon with your group, with your party, killing all the trash mobs, the main boss, it took you 30 to 40 minutes. Not saying that's gonna be like the actual time frame. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, let's just put some numbers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, because what, you only get 3 chances a day unless you do the Rose Aura, right?
Yeah.
So let's say your second try, you knock it down to 28 minutes. On your last try, you get 25 minutes. But if you were somehow able to knock it out within 10 to 15 minutes or less, you get a special item. You know how awesome that would like feel if you could, because at that point it's showing you saying, "Hey, it's possible." Is it easy? Hell no, but it's possible.
Hmm.
That to me, that would be a challenge. I like, guys, we're going. This is
Yeah.
gonna be the daily we're doing every day until we get it.
Yeah. Now, I think not clearing the trash mobs could 100% get rid of your chance at the unique, like at all. So, like, if you didn't clear the trash mobs, you'd have 0% chance of getting a unique item from that dungeon. But I think if you were to clear them, it would then give you that chance.
I feel like if you clear them, it gives you like maybe like a 15 to 20% chance extra, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, we don't
Or-
have any idea on the chances, but
you know, 'cause we don't have any
speculation.
of the actual the numbers that they give us or anything.
Mm-hmm. God, dude. I wanna run dungeons right now.
Dude, I want to hop in and just start going.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all that I have. I feel like we covered pretty much everything, all the recent changes.
I see. You just went in on 420.
Is it 420? Wow.
It's it literally
We have
just started
spent
421.
2 hours and 20 minutes working on this stream.
Working. We were
Well,
talking.
talking, but performing this podcast stream. So, if there's anything you guys want to add?
Not that I can think of. Not until I get more information on a few different aspects. And then we can talk about more then.
Sounds good to me.
Slash, you got anything?
Yes.
Not sure we talked about it, but the composer for Blue Protocol is gonna be Hirokui Sawano, who also did the song for the Face Strange Fake trailer. So hopefully Sawano will be more involved with the music because Sawano does really good work. So hopefully, yeah, one of the main things that I like about games is also the music. So hopefully, go all out on it, and yeah.
Didn't
That is one
the
thing.
didn't the trailer have music behind it, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure I remember it being good. That or I was thinking about some other game, but I want to say that it was Blue Protocol.
Now, I do have a question for you, Slash. Would you say the person who's working the music behind Blue Protocol, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name. Would you say he's the Jeff Williams of the anime series? Like this is the anime field?
Probably not. Probably not. Just that one person.
Because like I can't think of anyone for anime related or game related like on like an anime RPG style. I can't think of anyone's name that would just pop out like, oh yeah, that's a great composer and stuff like that. Like say Jeff Williams. So I'm just curious, like, is there someone as big and famous as the legendary Jeff Williams? I hear those keyboards that the
Yeah.
keystrokes.
I should actually. Oh snap! Yeah, it is gonna be Hiroyuki Sawano. Let me see here. He's the main composer. He also did League of Legends, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
He's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
promising. That's good.
And it's promising.
Any more appeal that we get for the game? Bless.
You think we're gonna get an anime?
I mean, it's very
So
possible.
okay, I think we'll get like little episodes, like little itty bitty like chapter episodes, basically inside of the game, like cinematic cutscene
mean-
type episodes. But I don't think we'll get like an anime.
I mean, Arc Knights is getting an anime.
See, I don't even know what
They
Arc
already
Knights
finished.
is.
Arc
They
Knights
already
is the,
finished-
Wait, go ahead.
I think they already finished the first season, right?
I think so.
Okay.
But like
Yeah.
the Arc Knights anime is taking a bit from the world
I mean, it's
and
pretty much
a
an
story from
adaptation.
another part of the world. So like the world that the game takes place in is I can't pronounce everything. Is in one like city region, and the show itself takes in place in a different region of the world.
Hmm.
From the looks of it, looks like it's just chapter 1 or the prologue.
Hmm.
An adaptation.
Hmm.
I know they're gonna make a Genshin Impact anime. It's
Oh
gonna be,
my
like,
goodness.
Potable, and considering how much money they make, it's gonna be absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Genshin. Like, I liked it and the design. I just didn't. There wasn't enough content for me.
Yeah. You played Honkai?
I've not.
What about Tears of Themis, the one with the guys?
That also does not sound familiar.
Yeah.
um.
What else?
I think that's it. Up until we can get in our dev blog. We
Yeah.
talked a lot. We talked a lot.
We did talk a lot.
Oh,
2
yeah.
hours. 2 hours
I mean,
plus.
But 2 hours plus isn't really that much, actually. Like when with the amount of information we had at our disposal, all the updates. That's the only. We talked about a few topics for a while, but then we barely touched on others. So, I mean, there's still a lot of.
I think-
nitty-gritty
yeah.
details we didn't talk about.
Yeah, I think we could like fine detail some other things, but
Yeah. But at the same time, a lot of the stuff we want to talk about, we can't because we
we don't know
have-
enough.
It's that, and we also don't have the numbers. We don't have the, like for the loot chances. We don't have those numbers. Like, what is the loot chance?
Mhm.
What?
Hmm.
Once this
What's the
beta
drop
comes
rate?
out, I feel like a lot. Like we're gonna know so much more because this is the second Japanese beta, so a lot more information I think will be revealed because they're trying to fine tune it for the Japanese release. This is essentially the Japanese alpha more than the alpha, right? I think alpha is the right word. The last test right before release. So it's Japan's last test before release because they're planning on releasing in March.
And then for the worldwide, it's gonna be that summer, right?
People are expecting summer for worldwide release.
Knowing Amazon, I'm gonna say
June 1st, the soonest that they can.
It
No,
says
I-
second
I'm-
half of 2023, so maybe around summer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, knowing Amazon, when they release New World, they're gonna do it right towards the end of summer, right before the school semester picks up.
I don't know if they'll do that because I feel like they're gonna want the sales from the summer, like all the kids and stuff, especially with it being T rating.
But here's the thing: what they're doing is now avoiding summer sales, so people have to pay full price for it, along with everyone anticipating it. So they're gonna add on to their vacation, and they're gonna try to change schedules around to fit their playtime.
I don't know. I feel like even with like both the sales, I feel like they're gonna try to shoot for the max amount of players. Like, there's no way that they don't release it in summer, to me, because like they're gonna get so many more players and active players playing the game during the summer than they would if they released in like August, like end of summer.
What was I gonna
Did you hear anything that I said?
No, my headphones got caught on my chair,
Gosh,
and I started.
dang it.
I started getting like my head brought down.
Okay, so for me, I feel like even with the sales and everything, I don't feel like they're going to release it like towards the end of summer or like after summer, because they're going to get so many more active players by releasing it in the summer. They're going to get the active players, the playtime, and the sales from releasing it like in the midst of summer or early summer. And all that playtime is going to look really good on them. I think business-wise, that's even a smart decision because it's not like New World where it's their own game. This is actually the Japan's game, but they're publishing it. So they can't even make any of those business decisions. They just have the availability to publish it when they can.
Which I am excited for Amazon servers to be up and going again.
Yes. I'm curious how long it will hold out though, because it's going to be a lot of people, especially for it to be on one server.
I mean, it's not going to be on one server. They're going to have a set amount of servers, and then they're going to have some backup servers probably that they have to acquire to either add or they'll take away servers.
Yeah.
Depending on how it goes.
Yeah. It depends on like how active the player base is. They're not gonna spend money on active servers where no one's gonna use them.
Yep.
How many collabs do you think they're gonna have with this game? Considering it's
Oh
Bandai,
God,
that money to
yeah,
grow.
yeah. Since it's Bandai behind it, I feel like there's gonna be so many.
You can expect Skull Calipper.
Okay, Oliver. Watch them somehow make a freaking Dragon Ball.
You can expect the Fate
crossover.
Grand Order game series.
I don't know. I don't know about that because they're so different styles. I feel like there might be references. I don't feel like it's gonna be like full on. What's it called? Dang it. I feel like they're just gonna be references. I don't feel like it's gonna be like fully like Soul Calibur characters in the game or something. Like I feel like they might bring a Soul Calibur weapon over or something like that.
Then they're gonna get Hololab to promote the game, like what they did with Tales of Arise.
I bet there's gonna be Tales of Rise references too.
I mean, but how many games have they made in the past?
Bandai?
Yeah.
Bandai Namco?
Millions.
A lot.
So how many of their previous games do you think they're gonna reference?
I think anything recent or that still has a player base.
You don't think they're gonna possibly pull up one of their older games?
No shot.
That was like a legend.
No shot.
Literally every Tales game. Freaking Elden Ring, Tekken, Dragon Ball Fighters, Jump.
Wait,
Force.
Bandai did Elden Ring?
Yeah, I think they published it.
Oh.
They published it.
But they didn't develop it?
No, I think that's From Software.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, From Software developed it.
Okay.
Bandai published it. But yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of those things, though Bandai can push it out into the other regions, we might still get exclusive stuff in the NA region because it'll be Amazon Games marketing that for NA, so they'll have a lot of cosmetic options and choices.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we, boys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot. My brain is hurting a little bit. I've not talked this much in a long time.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
I think we can come back next dev.
Yeah,
Step
or
out,
after the beta.
Or during the beta.
Yeah, if
and
one of
talk
us get
about
lucky.
Because, well, not even that. You know how easy it's going to be with people probably streaming the beta?
All that too.
Of course, we're
Yeah.
probably not gonna be able to understand it, but we can talk about it. We can still
Yeah.
talk about the visuals we see.
Yeah, 100%.
When do
Unless
you guys
someone
want to
wants
get
learn-
together?
Huh?
When do you guys want to get together for another collab? When you have time?
Probably like right towards the end of January, I think would be fine. We can work on another podcast then.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do gaming or something? And not just podcasting?
Have you ended the stream yet?
Maybe. No. So I'll go ahead and close out.
Close the stream before we start talking about future
Yeah.
plans.
Thank you, my beautiful people,
Yeah.
for tuning in.
Thank you.
Uh,
Don't forget to follow our boy.
Wild card comes in.
Finn, whatever you want to call
That
me.
like, comment, subscribe.
Yes,
Instagram,
hit that like button
Snapchat,
if you're at all.
Discord.
Hit that like button if you're at all interested in Blue Protocol, or if you found out useful stuff, or enjoyed us talking, chatting, or enjoyed our blooper stream. That definitely did not happen. Leave a comment if you are also interested, or if we didn't cover anything that you wanted to know or hear about. And that's all that I really have. So thank you guys. And I will see you towards the end of January, possibly, question mark.
I'll be streaming though,